I'm filming.
I'm ready.
Okay. Your gayness does not define you. Your Mexicanness defines you. This is a quote from The Office character Michael Scott, directed at Oscar Martinez, the only gay and Mexican character on the show. While the point of Michael Scott's character is to be an insensitive imbecile, it's worth noting that almost every joke on the show directed at Oscar has a direct correlation to either his sexuality or his ethnicity. As we watch hit shows like The Office, we must ask ourselves, are they really fairly representing the different minority groups depicted in the shows? As the consumers these television shows are created for, we each have a say in what is and is not fair representation, and what continues to be on the screens that we watch every day. It is our duty to notice these issues of misrepresentation and to speak up if we see something wrong. Today I'll be giving you different examples of misrepresentation in popular television shows and explaining how we can all do our part to end misrepresentation in television. Many of the very popular shows today have serious issues of misrepresentation. The example I gave you earlier is just one line in an episode of The Office dedicated to throwing a fiesta to welcome Oscar back to the office after he takes a mandatory leave after being sexually harassed by Michael, who kisses him on the lips after finding out that he's gay. That episode in itself has a lot of issues, but throughout there are different episodes of the show with similar plot lines. Another show with serious issues of misrepresentation is Modern Family. In Modern Family, the character Gloria is the Colombian wife of an older white man named Jay. Gloria's character gives into many of the stereotypes that Americans have of different Latino women in the community. She has the voluptuous body, the exaggerated accent, and an overall pretty crazy personality. In an interview with Hola USA earlier this year, Sofia Vergara, the actress that plays Gloria, was asked a question about whether these stereotypes were harmful to the show or to different Latino women in America, to which Vergara responded, "What's wrong with being a stereotype?" And while there's nothing wrong with having different characteristics similar that are stereotypical of different groups, there is something wrong with those stereotypes being the only representation being seen. In the show, Vergara's character is the only Latino woman, and yet she gives into all of these stereotypes without fail. These project different ideas onto the people that watch the show that they think that all Latino women are like that, and that's simply not fair. These issues of misrepresentation become a problem for all of us, as the shows that we watch affect our view of the world. Deborah Macy, a professor at the University of Washington, wrote an entire book called How Television Shapes Our Worldview. In this book, Macy and two other professors critique the different stereotypes in American television and their effect on the broader American culture. In this book, Macy states that without frequent interaction with different minority groups, many people get their description of what these people are like through television. If all that you see are these stereotypes, you assume that all people are like that, and that can lead to different issues throughout the community. One very simple and easy way to solve all of these issues is to simply be aware of the misrepresentation that you're seeing in TV, and to think a little more critically about what is and is not fair. One fun and easy way to do this is the Duvernay test. Manola Dargis, a New York Times film critic, created the Duvernay test to help figure out whether or not minorities are being fairly represented in television shows. Through this test, you watch a show and decide whether or not the minority characters have conversations or plot lines separate from white characters. If not, it fails. This test is very similar to the Bechdel test, which does the same thing for female characters. It tests whether or not female characters have conversations or plot lines separate from male characters or male love interests. As you can probably guess, the shows that I listed earlier fail both of those tests regularly, and many other shows do as well. Another very simple and easy way to help solve the issue of misrepresentation in television is to simply talk. By talking to the people around you, your peers, and your family members, you can help end misrepresentation in television for good. By talking about the different issues of misrepresentation and critiquing shows that do have these issues, you can help end this problem. If shows get bad reviews and bad ratings, they'll either make a change or die out. Either way, the misrepresentation ends. By simply talking, you can make a huge change in the television industry, and you can help make that change very fast. by explaining different examples of misrepresentation in television and describing how we can all do our part to help end misrepresentation. I hope that I have encouraged everybody to think a little more critically the next time you watch TV. If we all do our part to end misrepresentation in TV, we can make sure that while characters' personalities and actions may define them to a certain degree, their sexualities, ethnicities, and abilities don't have to.